Hi everybody, welcome back to 17 Carat K-Pop and the last Best of the Month episode of 2023. Before we get to all the Best of the Whole Year episodes, real quick, usual caveats apply. Remember, this is never a personal diss towards your fave. I listen to literally hundreds of new releases every month from the worlds of K-pop, C-pop, J-pop, etc. I take it super seriously, trying to objectively rank and review these. It's a monumental task I take very seriously, and I try to be objective. So, if your fave didn't make the cut, sorry, that's just the nature of these lists. I try to be objective, and maybe your fave is in the jam-packed honorable mention segment at the end of the episode, so stay tuned. With that out of the way, let's dive right in. Here is number 20 on the top 20 countdown. Lexi Liu, Delulu. She has a cool, nonchalant-ish way about her. Like, her facial expressions betray her words, which are so I care deeply, but her expression is like, whatever, I'm over it. It's very teenager, it's very millennial, it's very Gen Z, whatever. It's young person fed up with you and experiencing extreme emotions, yet also kind of just eye-rolling through life. She nails it. She has a very specific attitude that she always delivers with her music. Loved her album, Magician, so much, and this is a great follow-up. It's what hyperpop fans' dreams are made of. She really needs to team up with Charlie XCX someday. I think I spoke the Grimes-Espa team up into existence. Let's make it happen, Lexi and Charlie. Anyway, great, really fast burst of feeling and sound. It's just so good. And it gets in your head. It doesn't seem like it would. You'll see. The video itself speaks to the sense that she's going insane and questioning her reality, her surroundings. Because there's like a laugh track that comes with her glum birthday party set. She's running around jittery and flighty and not sure what to do with herself and her extreme emotions elsewhere. I'm critical of insane asylum, mental health institution-related video premises a lot, so that I don't care for, but I can't help but love the song, the delivery of it, and half of the video in the other setting. And she really does act out the part of someone who feels like they are just losing it. Number 19. P1 Harmony, Fall in Love Again. Keho is bringing it. Keho's voice is just so heavenly. It's so good for all of them, though. They just bring out such a cute, charming earnestness to their voices and just the video. Them singing, I know you've been burned before, but trust me, you can find love again. Please open yourself up for it. Don't be too scared to do that. Pursue it again. You'll find love again. You can do it. It's so earnest and encouraging. Classic P1 Harmony. They actually made it while in Atlanta. They worked with Tricky Stewart, who has won multiple Grammys. And then there's Believe, with 2 V's, who's worked with Tyla, Usher, lots of people. So this was quite a dream team that put together this song that suits the group perfectly. As does the very goofy, in a good way, Fuzzy Monster starring Love Manipulation Team branded music video. You'll see. Playing Matchmaker has never been so strange since the NCT Dream tour video. Number 18. Pink Fun, Oh My Oh My. If you want to get into the C-pop group, PFF is the song to start with. On loop all summer, it came out. Anyway, this is still really good and has some of that energy still, very much for K-pop girl group fans. Cherry Bullet's Love So Sweet came to mind when listening to All About You. Love Moji is what girl group ballad jams are made of. Stacey's Bubble, if you like that, you'll like Oh My Oh My. Very cute girl group heaven. And a very fun pastel music video. With smart marketing, they could sell those beverages, each getting their own color like a superhero squad. And the video is very much giving Barbie or Polly Pocket. Like, it looks like a literal life-size toy playset. Like a life-size plastic environment. The video, they've admitted, was grueling to make, so that's another reason to watch, just to show their efforts were not in vain. It did turn out super cute. Number 17. Dreamcatcher Villains. This is a cool mix of familiar and new, because music-wise, very familiar. They're classic pop rock stuff. More rock-leaning than pop-leaning. Very Dreamcatcher songs. The best one being Rising. Video-wise is where the newness is, and it feels less gimmicky than you would expect an OOTD premise to be because they have a video storyline related reason. Like, it's not one of those cases where a group is just not creative and is like, let's do an OOTD concept. No, this time it kind of was warranted for their characters because their ongoing narrative has entered a new space. Like, they're playing brand new characters, these villains, in a new realm. So they have to pick out their outfits for us to start this new chapter. It's like they're video game characters, and you have to personalize it before you go on your mission. So it's a cool spin on a seemingly generic concept. They really do rock some really cool fashion that really runs the gamut. The Coraline blue hair is a yes for me. They hint at deeper lore behind the story too, with some text on the screen like, do you believe in the power of the crown? And would you like to join the journey? Some cryptic comments that they might revisit in the future. Number 16. Epic High featuring Hoshi, screen time. Did anyone else notice that Hoshi's in a time loop in this video, and he was in the infinity loop in the 13 Inner Shadow 17 video? The time loop was also part of his 17 character story. Come on people, get out the red string bulletin boards. That It's Always Sunny meme is my life. Anyway, conspiratorial or not, I do read into this video a lot. It's a lot to really sit with. Because yeah, it's been done before, social commentary in music about social media, digital relationships, never being a full substitute for IRL stuff, etc. But they really kind of did some unique, unexpected, thought-provoking editorial choices to send that message. And I think it works because they don't send a message like they're scolding. Their appeal is in, they send messages like, hey, we're there too. We're not above that. We too are falling under the spell of this tech. We too are addicted to social media. This is not a preachy song. This is a, hey, we're all there in this together song. There's so many aspects to read into. The ways characters ignore each other to stare at their phones, the ways they don't ignore each other, like when Tableau hugs someone, but still stare at their phones during what should be a special, sweet moment. The way they start just ignoring practical issues, like leaving the car door open in the pouring rain, not caring. Then there's the fact the rectangular glow, that light pops up everywhere. That phone light remains like a stain on their hands, on the road, etc. Like even if they could fully have a digital detox, they couldn't. Not really, because the residue is still there. All the action starts with a phone battery reaching 0 and Hoshi's time loop starts over. Will he make a new choice now, or is he doomed to stay in this doom loop? They talk about a digital doom loop, like doom scrolling, being online, even though you know it's bad for you, or at least can be. And then they make it a doom loop in another way, in a technical, literal way, with the timeline. There's a mix of symbols with the scene with the street signs. One says past, another says present. They do move in the direction of the sign that says present, which might make you think, yay, they're getting away from their social media addicted past. But as they go that way, their path is lit up in part by one of those rectangular glows that's now permanent. And right after a car accident, Hoshi goes to get his phone. That's his first instinct. So it's like they're trying to escape the hold their phones had on them in the past. But even when that is so obvious, with a sign that says past, they are driving in the opposite direction of, they can't shake this. Part of that's their control, their fault. Part of it's not. There's so much else I saw in this video. I mean, the fact the people in the elevator stare at you creepily. Their smiles are like those of a horror movie. Don't trust them. The way they actually benefit, like their phones do become a source of light when the power goes out elsewhere, like Tableau in that support group. The lyrics themselves that both reflect the benefits and drawbacks of their social media time in really interesting ways. Talking about like, I'm just on my phone to kill time, while also saying things about how their phone is like a lifeline, better than nothing to feel close to you. It's all in all a thought-provoking reflection on the contradictions inherent to social media. Makes us feel closer than ever and like we know each other not at all. Like we are farther apart in terms of understanding and physical distance than ever. Speaking of a story told with a lot of attention to detail, Dino with the song Wait. First of all, let's just stop and gush about how cute it is that his fellow 17 members all went to watch him make this and had a special viewing party for him. They all cheered him on. It's just so cute, their relationship. And he said in his interview about this song, quote, "Every year I tell the other members, I want to take care of all of you, no matter what you're doing or what you're up against. I just want to be by your side. It's not important to me what you 12 are up to. I like you no matter what you do, because you already mean so much to me. So please feel free to be open with me," unquote. That is so sweet. I love their brotherhood. Anyway, his solo shine is well-deserved. I love that he called the choreography a festival of dance breaks. The Wait choreography is like a festival of dance breaks. And it really did go off more than it had to. Like, it really was intricate and big. A big group, backup dancer-filled production. He pulled out all the stops and made sure the choreography and his other moves in the video kept relating to the visual symbols in the video. Like he would spin in a circle and suddenly on screen is the circle of doom you would see on a computer loading page. Which also kind of optical illusion style transformed into other stuff. Like the loading circle bars turn into the bars on the crosswalk, which turn into the bars on the shadows of the blinds opening. There was the way the bars on the crosswalk suddenly looked like they stretched endlessly, like the road was endless, as did the keyboard. The keys suddenly looked so much longer to get from one side of the board to the other. Then there's the fact his flower, he's ready to give a lover, gets wilted and turns into his bookmark, and he's very deep in this book now because he has time to kill. The way the order number he has is just skipped over. The way the text dots, the little dots that show someone's texting you, just expand off the screen, off the phone screen into the real world. I mean, so many ways he visually depicts the sense of impatience while you wait for something. Like, who knew a concept as blah, it seems, as being in a waiting room could be so interesting? But he really just finds so many ways to say it. Give examples of how drawn out and impatient it can feel when you have to spend each second thinking about how much longer is it going to take. This video is the opposite of a distraction from what you're waiting for. And then every second does feel extra long because that's all you can think about. When will this wait be over? And so in the video as you watch it, you're constantly reminded too with like the loading symbol, hey, how long is this going to take? So it's a smart twist on a seemingly simple concept. He said actually in a behind-the-scenes interview that he wanted to make the bakery he waits in kind of a personification of a person. Like, when he says, please don't tell me wait, it's his love interest and the bakery owner he's waiting for, that he eventually at the end of the video does get his order from. It's just a fun way to keep the premise light and deep, romantic and just frivolous seeming. Because after all, in life, no matter what you're waiting for, that waiting period can feel just as antsy and relentless no matter what the stakes are or aren't. Number 14. MCND Odd Venture. It is about time they came back and that pop star got a proper studio cut. They did seem to have this giant, yes, we're back, celebratory energy, because they threw like 10 concepts in one video, from a shark-themed story underwater, to traveling to outer space, to the woods, to even like a breaking the fourth wall planning room, like pitching each other video ideas in real time. They really pulled out all the stops. They also have that boundless, contagious energy throughout the album itself. It all screams just, we are so back. The first half seems more focused on individual vocal shine, and then they shine more as a group with collective chants and stuff in the second half. I do think the best might still be the singles, Popstar and Odd Venture. Number 10. aespa Drama. Trust me, the title track grows on you. Give it another chance. There's a lot to it, but once you really get into it, it gets catchier. And of course, they brought the cinema of it all to the video with that drama, though they threw some of my long-standing aespa music video world theories kind of for a loop. Because Winter's thing was the swordsmanship. This time, they were all flexing their skills with the swords, so it feels like this drama video in some ways was kind of an aside to the main canon, the main storyline. Really, really gripping story, action, thriller, heist adventure that seems very intentionally in the same state of the SMCU as NCT's latest, going through surreal scenarios in the city. Overall, they just go full cyberpunk, lots of EDM influence in these songs, though there are lighter moments too, and quite a few of these we got a preview of before, be it during the tour or some other live show, South by Southwest. They've hinted at a lot of this before, so I have a feeling not only is this album kind of a standalone narratively, but also kind of a backup, been in the vault for a while kind of release. Like songs they recorded quite a while ago I'll put onto this, which is not a bad thing. They've aged like wine. It's like Red Velvet's latest era in the sense that it starts like a lion and ends like a lamb. It really does. The video, though, I really just highly recommend you watch. It's very absorbing, and it starts with 4 rules on the screen that are very action thriller movie or TV show-esque, very premise setting. Rule 1, look back immediately when you feel a presence in the dark. Rule 2, if your reflection tries to shake your hand, don't let it. Rule 3, run away from the light. Rule 4, do the opposite of everything you just heard. Yeah, it's quite a mind warp. Sonically and visually, give this multiple chances to really understand it and appreciate it to the fullest. Number 12. Jungkook, Golden. Our golden maknae with a golden voice in golden tunes, very aptly titled. Honestly, I'm of two minds about this. Now, you know I'm an ARMY, you know I love these guys, and he is a solo star, so I'm not trying to diss anybody. But honestly, this to me is a solo beginning. A solid start. I already know his sophomore album will be better. Like, this is a nice foundation, but I just know he can do better, and will. This is a nice sample of his own music interests. The throwback R&B, ballads, one written by Shawn Mendes, by the way, Hate You, which is the best one. The kind of slow and fast songs alike that he likes just as a listener. But they were handed to him. Like, he wasn't really hands-on with composing or writing. He does indeed give them a golden touch. He makes the most out of what he was given. But I'm just excited for the future when he's not given it, when it just comes from him and he is more hands-on. Overall, I'm saying this is a very solid release, a testament to his great voice and ability to handle whatever material is thrown at him. But it'll be even greater and higher on my top 20 list for sure in the future when it gets more personalized. But this was great proof, yeah, when it does get more personalized, he will be able to pull off any and all concepts he goes with. Number 11, Wavy, On My Youth. Speaking of SM Entertainment artist releases that feel like they were just waiting their turn for a long time to be released, Moonlight and Lighthouse are both songs Wavy recorded over 2 years ago. Those demos they've had forever. The pre-release set of videos too makes me think they've had a lot of this recorded and filmed and we're just waiting for the moment to release it. Again, it can age like wine, not a bad thing, just interesting. This end of the year release for SM artists. And interesting that they're all going for a literally darker video aesthetic. The videos are kind of ambiguous, definitely full of Easter eggs. I will do my big conspiracies about it some other time on the show for the sake of time. But yeah, for sure. You know me, I have them. The long and short of it is, the set of videos shows them wreaking havoc, but then kind of maturing or at least feeling the effects of a release of that angst. The worst is over, as we see represented with the bloody wounds that heal themselves by the end of one video. They really incorporate an impressive array of sounds, lots of orchestral flourishes, but also tons of hip-hop influences, some Y2K dance pop, some mid-tempo stuff, more acoustic-leaning stuff, the opposite. I would say the best that gives this album kind of a big energy pivot is Rodeo. A mix of laid-back and not at all laid-back vibes, while they visually represent the dark, angsty in-betweenness of youth, that grittier side of youth, and your extreme emotions. Number 10. Crush, Wonder Ego. Cheat, truly an instant addition to my best songs of the year list. Truly, I just fell in love with it right away. Just so good, such a mood boost. He's got the perfect delivery to go with the personality of the song. And I'm grateful, very pleasantly surprised, that this album really is, more often than not, I would say 60 to 70% upbeat stuff. He has his usual slow, smooth, emotional crooning, but more often, happy stuff. It's a good pick-me-up album, but of course he has to flex his vocal skills too. As do collaborators like Lehigh, but I would say my favorites are just the really smile-worthy ones. Easy Peasy, No Break, Remember Me. He goes for a more dramatic sound, at times like with Harness, and then there's the ones that feel like he's just wallowing in feelings, like Deep End. Really overall a cool snapshot of Crush and his multitudes. Number 9, Trident, Dream Up. Love this J-Rock girl group, and they're just so in your face this whole time. This EP is all seize the day, get up, control your own life, get in the driver's seat of your own life, metaphors like that about steering your own ship, etc. They have lyrics like, the hero is the one who simply believes in the path he has chosen. It's a matter of perspective if you succeed. Let's redefine success. Again, it's a very seize the day, anthemic, energizing EP. And it gets more fun and interesting sonically too throughout. It starts with just a straight up, hey, get up and seize the day message with a rock instrumental. But after Twinkle, the midpoint, more electronic pop elements are added. There's more to it instrumentally and a more abstract, metaphor-filled set of lyrics. So it goes from more targeted and direct to more abstract and artsy. All across 5 songs, so nice, quick, easy, fast pick-me-up, but lots to it too. Number 8, NTX, Odd Hour. The Holy Grail video is like 2 in 1. You get the sci-fi, topsy-turvy, glitching, laser-filled scenario, juxtaposed with a heavenly, mythology-esque, up-in-the-clouds concept. And quite a crossover at the end when they have this dramatic fall from the place in the clouds back to the tumultuous city. And their path is just really visually well done. The way the dramatic blue lightning lights up the sky as they fall from the clouds, camera work-wise, well done. They showed off quite a vocal range and instrumental variety. And it's quite a lengthy release by K-pop boy group standards. It's really full. They're definitely leaning into One Team's energy, like Make This by One Team, that era. The best vocals and the prettiest instruments, I would say, are in Subway. The bass is the best in Monopolize, paired with that attractive whispering. There are pop rock-ish songs like Scream, slower R&B with Deep. Moon's Diary, definitely for fans of Nap of a Star by TXT. They end with another gentle song, Forever Now. Number 7. Red Velvet, Chill Kill. I'm always impressed by their very specific mix of red and velvet. Mix of cuteness, total sweetness, total youthful, inner child, stoking, fairy tale-like, angelic side, and an equally extreme, dark, sinister side, like with Peekaboo and Really Bad Boy. When they're at their peak, quirky in a playful, cute, youthful way, they're also at their peak sinister, like they're getting ready to carry out a hit or kidnap someone. It's very twisted, looks can be deceiving, devil dressed like an angel kind of a video premise. They're back to that signature combination in Chill Kill, where they set fire to this abandoned house and seem to be in glee over the destruction they bring. They have certain props that seem notable for later. I just feel like we're supposed to remember. Like Irene wears the angel wings, Joy wears the eye patch, Yuri wears the veil. It's like they're in costume for a movie scene or something, which would make sense with the whole show within a show premise that the SMCU is all about. Also note that Joy carries the handheld camera. Joy was a main conductor calling the shots I theorized about in past episodes, so she still has that director role in their story. So the story is another installment in an ongoing one, but also brand new. They summed it up as Wendy basically committed the kill. She's responsible, but she did it in the name of protecting the other four. So the video is meant to prompt some reflection on what actions are justified. It's really interesting, as is the album itself, which again has those extremes, like very delicate ballet recital-esque songs with dark synths, a deep bass, and tons of attitude. And you never know what will come next. Number 6. King Nu, King GNU, The Greatest Unknown. This album does live up to its title, being full of surprises, and it's kind of like several in one. Certain sonic trends reappear like they're a series of partner songs, but spread out. A flip-flopping of different conversations. It makes for an overall really dynamic series of mini plots, essentially. It's a nesting doll kind of story. The coolest parallel is the choice to start with Mirror and then Rorim, Mirror backwards, is the equally intriguing finale. Besides the cool ways the songs are both similar and contrasted with each other, the must-hears are definitely the rousing specials, the fast digital fun, that's one way to sum up Asura, and Workaholic is pretty great too, that leads into Asura, really hits its stride midway through. And Boy, because it's super nice and jovial before the last few songs. Because Dao kind of has an ominous undercurrent, like something really sinister is rising to the surface. And the last two songs are climactic, the opposite of winding down. Roarin' then feels like it's playing the whole album backwards in some ways. Like just every sound from past songs were thrown together and you pressed rewind at like 10 times the speed and that's what you get. A mirroring, nesting doll, cornucopia, whatever you want to use to describe it. An elaborate metaphor is needed for this incredible album that's like several in one. Number 5. Taeyeon 2X. Honestly, at first, it seemed like she was capable of maybe a more interesting, dynamic set of instrumentals, because it starts out with kind of unassuming, simple-ish guitar-focused songs, then a piano ballad, and then one more upbeat one afterwards. Like, she can do circles around that stuff. But the video and the lyrics, no, those don't disappoint. The video is a really effective, stirring depiction of both the unflinching darkness of a toxic relationship and the way she's trying to escape but can't, and the light at the end of the tunnel. There's some really cool blink and you'll miss it moments that show those lights at the end. Mid-video, in a very, very split-second moment, super blink and you'll miss it, is when, for a second, she appears animated as a butterfly, upside down. Like she's just getting to emerge out of a cocoon her ex had trapped her in. And now she's ready to blossom and show her wings. There's so much attention to detail in this very evocative, powerful mini-movie of a video. And the lyrics really do take those songs to the next level. The way she analogizes with ice and statues collapsing and fire. The most devastating lyric, honestly, is when she says, because I loved you without you, because I loved you without you, and all for nothing. Wow, that hits. Number 4, Kiss of Life, Born to be XX. First of all, lots of great 90s R&B inspiration. This is nostalgia done right, and with a new twist. But songs aside, what really won me over was the storytelling. Bad News on its own shows them behaving badly, beating someone up in the subway, starting a riot, getting into physical fights, hurling a volleyball at someone in gym class. Both petty and more serious crimes here. Robbery, dumping a drink on someone. But then, the Nobody Knows video offers an interesting additional bit of context. That video shows the lead up to those incidents, what sparked them. Like the girl dumped a drink on someone's head because that girl was being rude, just busy on her phone during the live play. The girl pelted another with a volleyball as retaliation after seeing that girl bully a peer. The beating up in the subway was after a guy tried to make a move on her. So each action had a reason behind it. And then the robbery, the riot and stuff, that was all to basically expose corruption from this official. This is such a great example of what art should do. Like, it should provoke, it should create some sort of emotional impact in you and leave you in thought and be worth ruminating over. And it should be messy. It's my kind of video where you can really read into it and get kind of philosophical, what it's really saying. It's so nuanced. Please don't conflate depicting something with promoting it or endorsing it. That's such a weird, flattening way to view stuff. No, bad stuff is shown on TV and movies, sometimes for a deeper reason, to prompt a certain introspection. It's not like if it happens in media that's meant to incite you to follow suit. I'll get on that soapbox more another time. But this is a great example of, I could totally picture someone just watching and not thinking about it and being like, this is terrible, a bad influence, this video, endorsing this scandalous behavior, or justifying it with the context. But I would argue, no, it's really less about what they do than why they do it. And the context is not given to excuse them, just to explain that there is always more to the story than what's first presented to you. Quite a commentary that they had the video without the context that got people fired up, then the video with the context. And one of the ways we can tell this is not some sort of endorsement of bad behavior is because they seem guilty. They're on the run at the end, trying to conceal what they did, and they wouldn't do that if they felt like they should own up to it because it was all the right way to handle things. They really are a girl group to watch. I know I've said that before this year, and I'm quite proud, if I do say so myself, that I said early on, watch this group. They really are doing something very commendable and in-depth and one of a kind. Number 3, Zero Park, Where Does Sasquatch Live? Part 2. I could spend a whole hour talking about his music because the videos are so worth talking about. I'm definitely going to write quite a bit about him on my Substack soon, so subscribe, 17caratkpop.substack.com. The story continues to be set in this world overtly inspired by kids' TV shows. A big rainbow-colored setting with a lot of paper and cardboard props and stuff, like the night sky stars on fishing lines or just like pieces of cardboard. It's a very makeshift look. There are puppets, fuzzy characters of other kinds. There are archetypes that you would see in kids' shows, just classic characters like astronaut, rock star, villain, hero. There are repetitive songs, sometimes with lyrics on the screen, like a sing-along. There's an overwhelming amount of colors and visuals. At one point, kind of a light flickering filled, practically seizure-inducing, hypnosis-looking moment with his scary wide-eyed stare and makeup. Very over-the-top makeup and costumes. Narrations. The album starts with a monologue, setting the scene, and then it ends with a similar kids' TV show soundtrack feel with a conclusion monologue with a narrator. There are also some actual little kids in the videos being told this story like from a storybook. Not just stylistically, but thematically too. These videos, there are so many videos corresponding to the songs on this album, and all of them really do tap into what kids shows can do. They find musical ways to address emotions, the need to be brave, the need to handle your fears, the need to make sense of things. To me, what I love the most is that his story is nostalgic and gets you thinking in a way you never have before about what you watched as a kid. Like, in hindsight, you can tell what shows were like, yeah, that was just trash, why did I like that? Versus that was a really profound, smart show that found clever ways to teach me morals while I was focused on the flashy, stimulating visuals. The over-the-topness is part of the point. The messages beneath the surface, you realize what those were later in life. So it got me really deep in thought about this material. Definitely I recommend watching every video, but I will quickly just say the video for Queen gives us the narration first, then the townspeople have to deal with him as a queen, stare up at him as his skirt is extended to infinity. It's quite Wonderland-esque. The puppets are there, a lot going on. Bye 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 I would summarize as the most kids' TV show-esque of a song, but it grows on you, trust me. There's a puppet tea party, quite a dance with rainbow characters. There's that hypnosis-ish, seizure-inducing maybe moment. The video for Bullet turns the place into a cemetery with zombies. There's also quite a party going on. Naturally, puppets join the party. Hero in the mirror has him dressed up like a businessman and is back and forth between time interacting with those fuzzy characters who eventually seem to pass out and time with the other humans. He also sings with his reflection. He sits on this giant foot as if it's a mechanical bull. There's a lot that is very hard to succinctly summarize. In Space Z, he's an astronaut. Puppets are back. That's the quickest summary. Walking Through the Darkness is a really great one for the story, and it's simple, one of the simpler videos, but the straightforwardness brings home the message that the lyrics do, because he starts saying, "We're walking in the darkness," then ends with, "I'm walking in the darkness," like he learned to do it alone. Number 2, Stray Kids, Rockstar, which I talked about at length on an episode called Rockstar Celebration. So I will direct you to that, and for the sake of time, move on to number 1, best release in November, drum roll please. Orange Blood, which we talked about at length on a past episode of this show called Orange Blood Album Guide. I will also add commentary to my written version of this top 20 breakdown at 17caratkpop.substack.com. It'll be a free post. Sign up not to miss it. What else I'll say about it now, though, is that Orange Blood is such a good release for ENHYPEN's multimedia story. The place they are emotionally and narratively in their webtoon, in their music videos, in their songs, in all of it together, they pick up right where they left off perfectly with Orange Blood. For all the reasons we detailed in that past episode, this full release did not disappoint. They're just so impressive and specific in their story. These characters, these vampire characters in their video narrative is just so consistent and really interesting because they use vampires as such interesting tools. It's so deep. Truly. Like, it's not just, ooh, sexy vampire concept. No, this group is incredible with the depth and philosophical evolution of these characters. Like, they're vampires not to be alluring as much as to symbolize things like mortality versus immortality, what it means to be human, things like that. What it means to want someone's blood or to be as close as blood. What does it mean to crave someone else's presence in a different way? My personal favorite at the moment is Blind, but objectively, truly the best, most high-quality B-side is Still Monster. Really, really poetic song and just beautiful. Live, I bet it is so incredible. Their story is ultimately about the meaning of life coming from its fleeting nature. They decide in this part of the story to understand what it's like to be a human. And they take the things that humans are scared of, fear of the unknown, fear of temporariness, etc., as exciting things, not fearful things. They embrace the unknown and adventure that comes with the human experience. As much as Orange Blood is a love story, the songs tell a story about individual life experiences too, what it all means, how it amounts to anything. I could go on and on. I just find their storytelling so next level, so sweeping, so detailed. And the songs themselves are just so well done. They really are just beautiful vocalists and treat each song with the right emotional, passionate delivery that they deserve. Like, they're fully immersed in their characters, not just in the videos, but even when in the recording studio. Now it's time for a ton of honorable mentions. And I really do have so many to cover that I'm going to go pretty fast. So prepare yourself. Get out a pen and paper. If you're a paying subscriber, 17caratkpop.substack.com, you will get this honorable mention list in your inbox for free. But otherwise, write it down if you want to, or listen carefully. Here we go. VIX Continuum. They are so back, bringing the drama, the dreamy aesthetics, ambiguous, symbolism-filled visuals, their great voices, their hands-on work. Every aspect of this release really is just true to form. It's so good to have them just back in their most VIX self. The video is really just pretty and dramatic, and they set it up like a TV show preview trailer with the monologue, quote, "When life is possessed by fear, sensations and memories scatter like sand in the wind. Past wounds are buried deep in the abyss, and we live on in glittering fantasies. Until someone breaks down this fortress, we will desert this fragmented reality into oblivion and remain isolated in eternal dreams," unquote. Basically, the through line of this era, they described it as, I'm paraphrasing, but what is amnesia but weak, disappointing dreams, faded recollections, a dreamlike haze of existence. The Boys, Fantasy Part 2, Sixth Sense. They continue the fantasy series, which focuses on different movies with each part of it. We actually talked about The Sixth Sense in my Fade to Blackpink series of episodes about K-pop movie references. The video has quite a lot of detail, from the dramatic ending with all the split screen, rapid fire imagery to the t-shirt that says two faces on it, the butterfly shaped shadow that chases them. Lots to it, so watch it more than once. One of the most strong suits of the album, I would say, is the percussion. Lots of great synths too. Escape has the best vocal layering. The formatting is well done. A very strong finish for sure. Their voices are kind of queued up one after the other as opposed to too busy and simultaneous. Yeon Yeon, My, with the Y's capitalized. She continues to be what I summarize as Charlie XCX meets Avril Lavigne. Electro-pop meets punk rock star. She's still underrated. Her best work is with Ash Island, but this album is still really good. It's interesting, the first half is more pop-punk than not. The second half is more R&B vibey, slower tempo, more reflective. The midpoint is I Loved Him, a song that's kind of stripped all of a sudden. Backed by acoustic guitar, it's like the first half is her confident persona, but then the mask slips. You have the midpoint, this emotional pause in the facade, and then really getting into her feels in the second half. Thama, woof. There's some great chill vibes on here, like Coffee to Go, Bump It Up, Baby I Know, which really commits to this talk show concept for the video, like complete with mid-video commercials. Rocky, Rockiest. He brings quite the dance party to the Lucky Rocky video, like literally brings color to a dreary setting, this art museum where no one seems super happy until he gets them to dance with him, and they all just happen to know the choreography, of course. He brings a really unique energy to solo stuff that we didn't see in Astro. Music Is My Life, definitely a good B-side with title track potential. Chameleon is fittingly chameleonic instrumentally. Yes or No is a lively one for fans of Lucky by Kim Jae-hwan. Find Me sounds like a song that was made for Astro, or just some full group, yet Rocky modifies it for a solo pretty well as the ballad You're Haley. And the title track, Lucky Rocky, to me sounds a bit like Queen by History. Now that song really was history. Since the soloist, the SOLOEST, like the most solo. Synth is a really underrated rapper, and a key example of when artists' weakest songs, frankly, get the most hype. The songs that get the music videos, the single treatment, the popularity boost, not her best stuff. The B-sides are where it's at. Not Mechanism, not Wing, but like Blind Melody, about trying to keep up appearances on social media. EST with the strange references. There are songs with capitalist materialism, related critiques. Diet is a funny play on word-filled song. Like, yeah, I'm getting bigger, eating up this stage, filling this stage, etc. There's songs about dealing with heavy burdens, courage to keep going, like Seesaw. She gets punny again on No Matter What, about saying she's been vaccinated against the people trying to stab her with their words. So some songs are kind of a pep talk to herself, some are more of a pep talk to viewers. All have a unique attitude. Yoasobi, The Brave, and Biri Biri. That one is nice, but I do think The Brave is better, way better, with a just beautifully illustrated video and a very storybook-esque, vivid set of lyrics. The images just come to mind with the lyrics without having to see the video. Yoasobi do a great job with that storytelling, bringing stuff to life through just the song itself. Glim Spanky, The Gold Mine. They really are, as the name would suggest, such a one-of-a-kind talent. Very unique rock sound, very colorful guitar choices, sound effect choices. They have seemingly random switch-ups, like sounding like they're talking through an intercom, changing their tone in other ways, crashing a cymbal, using some shakers, just whatever they feel like doing. It's overall like a feigning spontaneity, zigzagging journey. Big Naughty, ICN greater than YVR, meaning going from Incheon to Vancouver. He does a nice job with some rap and R&B influence, some synths, some somber piano, but I would say his best moments are the pop-punk ones. So the best songs are the title track and Turbulence. The title track and its video really won me over. It's such an adorable video with a lot of deep meaning to it too. So it's split into 3 parts. Part 1 is called Romantic Date. Chapter 2, The Edge of Love. Chapter 3, Happy Ever After. Long story short, he turns into a young version of himself, still in adult-sized clothes. And he goes on dates like he's an adult, moves into an apartment and goes to the park, goes for a drive with his young date. So cute little kids, you see them go on dates and live a happy life together. All the while, his present-day self does things that infiltrate the scenes. So he doesn't ever directly go up to them or interact with them, but he does affect the scenes, like by throwing a paper airplane past their window in the car. So he's trying to rekindle, to get for himself in the present, recapture the magic of puppy love, young love, first love. And it doesn't really work. I know I said long story short, so I'll end it there. There's a lot to the story though. It starts out looking like, oh, this is just going to be a cute, fun, puppy love story to watch. But it has quite an emotional depth to it if you read into what his present day self is like and how his present day self ends up alone. Jiuk, Rise Waves. Speaking of Yeon Yeon being iconic, her song with him, Penrose Stairs, is one of his best. He has a very interesting collection of lanes he dabbles in. Electronic meets punk meets orchestral. There's a lot going on here, but he pulls it off. There's a very fun rap and electronic mix with Overtake. That's one of my favorites too. That chorus is where it goes down. But his more light and fun, playful side comes out with the Moonbyul collab, Block 123. He really shows different dimensions to himself, vocally and instrumentally. It stays entertaining throughout. Vivi's Versus. I think Untie should have been the title track. Untie is better than Maniac, with cooler choreography, just saying. The other songs include Overflow, which shows off the members' vocals more, and is a testament to the perks of just 3 members, to really get each member room to shine vocally. Fun fact, they actually for this comeback worked with Kanye, Beyonce's choreographer. Show Hendrix, Dozen Roses. That's an R&B soul album, but is plenty on there for pop music fans too. The best song I would say might be the single Roses. Ken the 390, Unfiltered Red. There's simple bouncy pop, birthday cake. There's more of a pop, rap, punk mix in some, Like Anything Goes. There's the full steam ahead, Shoutotsu. Anything Goes is probably my favorite. Edward Chen, Almost Human. A really beautiful album with a lot of ballads, but also some kind of just slow, jazzy vibes. Ballads of all kinds. Slow, big, powerful, rock-style ballads, string and piano-focused ones that aren't really ballads but kind of share traits with them. Slow piano, percussion, spaced-out cymbals. The first half is more the power stuff. The second half is more just straight-up ballads, not a rock ballad tilt. The best arrangement is on the last track, on Wanan. Omega X, If You Know You Know, spelled IYKYK. Louder is such a good intro, it really must be energizing to hear that live. Great intro choice. 5 of them contributed to Junk Food, the trap hip-hop song that became the title track. Touch goes from a focus on group singing in louder to individual focus, which I like. Then there's a weekend vibe-filled song, Hey, and a rock ballad, Island, which everyone contributed to. They dedicated that one to fans. They really were hands-on. I'm really happy that they have this creative freedom they didn't before, and everyone really did help in one way or another. They were hands-on in choreography making, vocal directing, writing, composing, etc. New boy group, East Shine, Embers. Full disclosure, I did interview them, so I'm more inclined to like them, but I do think they had a strong debut EP with an interesting attention to detail. Lots of good layering and sound effects, interesting echoes and bass and tempo changes. The best is No Matter What I Do. Zero Base 1, Melting Point. The main Jersey Club song / title track is Crush, with so much going on in the video. It's a back and forth. They're CGI, they're IRL, they're knights versus schoolboys. All the while, focused on a message of just looking out for each other. It's really cute, gives me a little bit of 17 Monse era energy, and they give me some 17 energy like from Gotta Music in their song Kid Zone, which is thematically the same about dreaming of a world where we sing and dance in unity, about the power of music to unite people, music as a universal language, all that sweet stuff. I really hope Zero Base 1 stays super wholesome. It's so cute. Bang Yi Dam, only one. Indeed, this is his first solo introduction musically. He went intentionally for a light, easy-listening, summery feel, and I like that he showed this pride in his self-made stuff by giving the song Miss You so much attention, giving it a piano version, an alt-rock version. He revealed he actually made 30 different songs for consideration, so I'm curious if we'll get to hear more of those demos that didn't make the cut in the future. Vince, The Drive. The best songs, You, and Get Out. You is definitely one of those songs that makes you wish you could sing well, cause you would belt it out if you could. Jessica, Beep Beep. Her best B-side, Set Me Free. The title track Beep Beep was a good choice just because it deserved that video. It's really cute and has tons of pink Barbie vibes. Speaking of really cute, Ampersand 1 released a self-titled EP. I could picture Sweet and Sour being just as popular as the title track On and On. They go from Butta Buzz in Sweet and Sour to Wah-Ohs in Sheesh. It's all very bright and cheerful. I just frankly wish they had chosen a different name, or at least not released music at the same time as And Team. With the ampersands in their names, seems like an intentional way to get publicity. Not a fan of that, but I digress. Nothing against the members there. Weekly, Colorize. Vroom Vroom, very From Is 9-esque, both in sound and video aesthetics. They have a lot of fun, fast-paced, dance-ready, bubblegummy pop, a more retro focus to the synth pop Ruby Dooby Doo. My favorite B-side is A+. I like that they did unit songs for the first time, and that they teamed up with La Chica for choreo from Street Woman Fighter. Yao Chen, Adventure Player, which has interesting duality from the main track, which comes in Chinese and English versions, a ready for fun song. Then you have a more contemplative, sensitive sounding, soft song in Delete, featuring NMIXX member Lily. B.I. Lover Loved, Part 2. He described Part 1 as being about that initial fiery passion in a romance, and Part 2 is like the final embers of that flame, the residual. Which you can tell, so honestly, more of my musical style was Part 1. This is more somber, but still high quality, just subjectively not as much of a fan. Objectively, he still got it, and commendably, was very hands-on as always, with writing and composing. The best song is All Shook Up, with Agnes Mo. Catch the Young released Fragments of Youth. They're definitely for fans of Lucy. They sound distinct from Lucy, but more so in subtle ways than big picture. Curious where they go from here. They have some slow piano and guitar focused stuff. Then they get into kind of Owl City-ish synth and percussion. Like I said, they're a new group worth keeping tabs on. Bibiana's new song, Vroom Vroom, definitely is for fans of Pink Pantheress. Say, S-A-A-Y, sounds as beautiful as ever with Roller Coaster. Gem, G-E-M, her best new song is Infinite. Yuki has a new rock ballad, Black Space. Her voice is so unique and cool. The most interesting song from the new boy group One Pact is Illusion. They should have made that first instead of last. That would have drawn listeners in. DPR Ian posted to YouTube a demo of Skins, and it is just fantastic. I want the whole thing. Nissi teamed up with Saweetie for Feels. The video is so Wonka-coded. Not sure if that was intentional with the timing, but it is such a candy-colored spectacle. It's very bizarre, but in a visually pretty way. Vincent Blue sounds so lovely in Smile for You. Another lovely voice, Wee Wee with Do. T24, T024 should definitely try more slower stuff, more piano ballads like Complete Me in the future. Would love to see that softer side of him more often. Noel Barrich released Just a Game featuring Benny Sings, definitely for fans of Wave to Earth or other more indie alt-rock acts. PH1 has a new album, Pop Off. The must-hear is Incubator. The new group Catch the Yun dropped a cover I'm kind of digging, not sure, it grew on me, of U2's With or Without You. Their voices are really deep and impressive. Roa from Rocking Doll is still such a star on her own, with Liar. Hyuna did bring attitude to the song Attitude. Same Hyuna, same confident dance moves, new hair, blonde makeover. She looks great. The only downside is a hair makeover is a big sign you're moving on from a relationship, not getting back together right now. So Hyuna and Dawn for life, but I digress. Triple S as a full group dropped a video for New Look from Assemble. It's giving me some Luna favorite vibes with their group-wide choreo, all the harmonizing, the black and white outfits. Not as good as favorite, but you could tell they're kind of going with the same approach to the appeal and like how they're debuting in different configurations more often at first than as a full group. Renjin from NCT covered Golden Hour by Jake, who added his own twist to Broken Melodies on a remix. Other remixes you should know about, the Phantom remix by Kun from Wavy, and a violin cover of Standing Next to You by Jungkook by OM Jamie. The Boys member Jacob gave a very interesting rendition of Tempo by EXO. Another cool new cover is Hannah Bond's cover of Seven by Jungkook. B.O. B.E.O. has a new pop-punk jam in Mad. Forestella have just incredible choir-ready voices in Unfinished. Apoki released Earth, Space, Time. The Supreme songs are not the new ones, frankly. They remain Get It Out and West Wing. West Wing is way better than it has any right to be. I love Rolling Quartz' contribution to an ongoing 50th anniversary project for Sanulim, and they released their version of Reminiscence. Dean returned from who knows where. Part of me felt like we'd never hear from him again, but he is back with Die For You. Speaking of fantastic vocalists, Sean is back with That Summer. One song that's been in my head on loop since it came out is Don't Hate Me by Department featuring Nobody Likes You Pat, one of the best band names ever. Pagehun released OXO, which is so good and underrated, and just go check it out for yourself. The name is Pagaehun. I am a sucker for cute puppets, so Davichi got my attention with the song A Very Personal Story. There are major retro throwback vibes to Butterfly by Jin X. Chu sounds so cute and perfect for I Like You from Akmu's Long Day Long Night. Generations released the EP Beyond the Generations. The It song on there, still the pre-release Diamonds. My C-pop queen, Jolin Sai, is finally back, sort of, with Ooh La 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 La, which is a McDonald's jingle. Her song for McDonald's. Look, I'll take what I can get. Desperate for some new Jolin Sai, besides the OST, which frankly disappointed me. This is more my style. I'll take what I can get from her these days. And she really went all out for a video. This could have been just a promoted, traditional single, not an ad. They put out all the stops for this video. It's classic pop princess material. Kun released Spotlight and really had me taken aback. He sounds so unlike himself, like he's really grown up, which kind of made me sad, but it reminded me of his song Wait, 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 which was one of his best eras. So a throwback to that feel is appreciated. Ally makes the world her runway in the very stylish, colorful Zigzag video. Lunate had their first subunit in Lunate Wave, a very ball pit at the mall vibe to the aesthetics of Playground, like a playground room in a mall, kind of nostalgic. Kimboa has such a unique, raw quality to her voice. It really shines in the B-side, Not Alright, even more than the A-side, Bloody, because she didn't really need a feature. Sorry, Microdot. 1-5 released FAFO, and I just love when sass is delivered so cutely. They chant FAFO like they're just the most innocent angels in the world. It's so funny. Triple I, spelled I, released what I know is going to be an underrated, should-have-been hit of the year, Forbidden Midnight. BB and Becky G brought so much cool energy together. They both have a unique swagger. They had to team up at some point, and they did with Amigos. Ace is back from the military with 2 singles, Effortless and Angel. They sound so grown up. It's kind of sad. The new sound is very mature feeling compared to their early days, but they continue to be just so good. Effortless is the better new song. Novelcore has a new punk song, No Way Back, with great lyrics like "This blueprint like a vow" and "Everything started with one person's madness." Paul Blanco released Thanks for Nothing. Some songs really flex vocal chops, some are rap focused, some kind of flex both skills relatively equally. I honestly find the standout the middle, like 4 a.m. with that cool production, the electronic filtering, during that How Could You Leave Me in the Dark Alone message. Then the Sacrifice interlude has his voice go under this thick instrumental layer. They're interesting delivery switch-ups throughout, this rap singing blur together. Like he goes through a weird sonic passageway mid-album. Huya Extended released Prayer, a solid 3-track anime rock EP. Best song is Odd One Out. Fakey released their final EP, Departure. It's a nice compilation of songs that's at least 80% upbeat fun, and then like 20-ish% the slower stuff. A very satisfying finale. The best song is New Age. Femme have also released their final project as a group. There's classic EDM pop fare, like Living in the Spotlight. There's more of a trap feel to Sun. Quite a smorgasbord of electronic distortions happening in We Flood the Night. More dance-ready than not. 3i gave us a very new side of them, with the way their voices are echoing and arranged, the nice percussion and piano choices. Different for them, with a very just aesthetically pretty video to go with it. The song's called Loco. Speaking of pretty aesthetics, Lim G delivers with the visuals for this Purple era. The Purple EP has some classic born for R&B and soul music vocal delivery. Some remix EPs can be quite skippable, but Twice as the remixes, truly so cool. That was a worthwhile remix EP, like a true reinvention of those classic songs in their discography, like true chance-taking makeovers, which I really appreciate. The best is for sure Boys Like Girls' cover of I Can't Stop Me. Their version is so interesting and fun. Leah from ITZY will sadly be on hiatus due to anxiety, but she did leave us with a special gift, her beautiful song, Blossom, about trusting she will bloom when the time is right for her. Really sweet message, wishing her the best. Wei Ched and Trade L have a duet EP out, Ched and L. The best song is Get Out. It's quite a back and forth between more R&B/rap songs and more pop stuff. Davida continues to be very saucy with her songs on Letters to Santa. Her classic attitude gives quite a fun, sassy flavor to a holiday EP. Melody and Christine are back with If I, which continues their lovely synth pop, guitar focused as well, dreamy pop delights in their slow but surely growing discography. Some really poetic lyrics about feeling someone's presence even if you're physically far apart. Claris released Folila. That is the most classic J-pop song, the title track. My favorite because of the cool flute, Genso Renbo. They end with Kamiro, which is the most party-ready, most jovial. Nene, N-E-N-E, released KMS, Killing Me Softly. Really good single, very much considering for, spoiler alert, my best songs of the year list, because it is so full of fun, spooky surprises instrumentally. Thai girl group Alala released Do Re Mi, which has lyrics that come across like a fairy tale, like they're the mermaids people go to watch from the shore. That's one way to visualize it. They sing about just sinning until they can't no more for the townspeople. Kind of storybook-esque. Kepler released Fly High Special Edition. They always do best with the Wadada-esque instrumentals. The video is definitely in their go-to Kepler-esque aesthetic realm, but with a race car-themed twist with Grand Prix. Lastly, The full version is out now of Megaverse, a video from Stray Kids. Go check it out. Their storytelling remains just one of a kind. That's all for today, but more new music coming your way, more recommendations in my Best of the Year episode, so stay tuned and get the lists in your inbox by subscribing to the show's free newsletter, 17caratkpop.substack.com. Thank you for tuning in. Talk soon. Bye, everybody.